This weekend marks the 70th anniversary of one of the worst disasters in U.S. naval history. It happened in 1942 during a huge winter storm off the coast of Newfoundland. Two U.S. warships, the USS Truxtun and USS Pollux, got caught in gale force winds, crushing waves and blowing sleet. They ran aground along the rocky coast of the Burin Peninsula. In all, 203 people died in the disaster. Well, my next guest was a sailor on board the USS Truxtun. Lanier Phillips joins us now by phone from St. Lawrence, Newfoundland. Lanier, thank you so much for being with us. I was hoping you could take us back 70 years ago. You were in bed when the ship hit a rock. What happened next?
Well, I was the junior man, the junior mess man, they call it, and my bunk was $5 up from the deck. And when it hit, well, I came out and right on top of the rest of the mess attendants who were on the deck, below.
Mm-hmm. And what went through your mind?
Well, I thought we had been torpedoed.
Oh.
And everybody slept what we call ready roll. I was fully clothed, but I didn't have any shoes on.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I hit, all our shoes were down at the bottom on the deck. And I just grabbed a pair of shoes. I don't know if they were mine, but I don't think so. And put them on and went topside.
Mm-hmm. And what was the scene like on the ship? Were people, did people know exactly what to do? Did you know exactly what to do? Was there chaos?
Yes, because I had been trained.
Mm-hmm.
And trained for, a disaster, whether we got hit or was in gun battle, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
We had been trained for that, so that's why everybody went topside. They went to the battle stations, and because myself, I thought we had been torpedoed.
Right.
Because the North Atlantic is a terrible place. The German submarines were all over the place, and history teaches you and me and everyone else that World War II started December 7th when the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor.
Mm-hmm.
But I know better because we, in the North Atlantic, submarines was torpedoing American ships, and we had lost the two destroyers, and the third destroyer, the Kennedy, they went on into Reykjavik, Iceland for repairs.
Mm-hmm.
But the Jacob Jones had been sunk off the New Jersey coast, and the other ship was sunk in the North Atlantic.
I can't imagine what that moment must have been like, because here you are thinking you're under attack, and the ship, I guess at that point, is starting to sink. How did you make it to shore?
Oh, well, we usually carry 8 rafts. It was storming. I mean, really, really storming.
Mm-hmm.
And the waves was hitting, and we had lost 6 of the rafts, and it was 2 rafts left. And we had a bosun mate, a first-class bosun mate, Agner, and a seaman. The captain asked him if he thought they could make it ashore. Well, the ship couldn't move.
Right.
Only the waves would pick it up and just slam it against the rocks. And it tried to back down and tore the propellers off. It had twin screws, twin propellers. And it just tore it off, so we were helpless. And we tried to make it ashore the best way we could.
Wow. And when you got there, how did the residents of St. Lawrence, Newfoundland end up helping you?
Well, they weren't there on the beach. We had a sailor by the name of Bergeron, and we carried, almost all the sailors carried condoms. And the reason we carried condoms because we could put a book of matches and into it and put a knife, and if you had a little tiny light, you put it in there and then make it watertight, so that if we did run into something like that or got torpedoed, we could have a little light, and in darkness at sea, a tiny light goes a long ways.
Definitely.
And we could start a fire or something. That's why we carried the condom with, the matches or what. And Bergeron, he made it to shore, and he put etches in the ice and climbed the cliff. And there were fences like up at the top of the cliff that they fed the animals and keep them from falling over, The cliff was about 300 feet up, and it's all covered with ice and snow. And Bergeron made it to the mine, Iron Springs Mine, and notified the people and the good people of St. Lawrence. They shut down the mine, and they notified the town to bring ropes, and they brought ropes and went down the rocky cliff, which was all covered with ice and snow. And they came down and started the rescue and started taking people up.
Wow,
and
such a treacherous situation there. I'd imagine it would have been difficult for anybody to even come and help. How does it feel to be back in St. Lawrence today?
Oh, it feels great to come back with people who have such love and for human beings, and one particular family, the Pikes, Mrs. Viola Pike, she took me to her home, put me in the bed, fed me, and things like that. And it wasn't just, a few people, the entire community. What they did, the men was doing the rescue, and the ladies, they set up a temporary hospital, you might say, to get the circulation going back, because almost everybody was freezing. We had 156 men and 110. Well, we had 156 and 46 survived. So we lost 110.
Wow.
Men froze to death, so that'll give you what the temperature was like.
Well, Lanier, I want to thank you so much. That is an incredible story, and I know that it's a moment that had a great impact on your life, and it must be wonderful to have you back in that spot in St. Lawrence today. Thank you so much for speaking with us.
All right. Thank you very much for calling.
That was USS Truxtun survivor Lanier Phillips on the phone from St. Lawrence, Newfoundland.